Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IAS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This initiative runs in coordination with our website, which is rajisacademy.com. If you want to visit our website, the link is present in the description. Click on it and you will see this landing page. On our website, there is this mains answer writing section that has been fully dedicated to Seize the Mains discussions. So what I mean by that is whatever we discuss on Seize the Mains Daily Answer Writing Initiative, you can go and check out the content of all the mock questions and answers that we are discussing here. In this mains answer writing section, we have discussed like 175 questions till date, and today this is 176th question answer discussion of Seize the Mains. All these topics have been taken from current affairs, so if you are preparing for upcoming mains or even prelims for that matter, definitely check out our daily mains answer writing challenge page on our website and follow Seize the Mains. Watch out the previous videos. It can be of immense benefit to you for your answer writing practice. And the special part here is that you just do not get to learn how to write answers with us. You can also practice with us. Under each and every question on our website, there is this comment section. Which reads start the discussion. So here in the comment section, you will get a lot of options through the Discuss platform, Gmail, Twitter, everything, to post your answers as comments here. So definitely click pictures of the answers that you're writing and post them as comments here, and our team will evaluate your responses in the next few days and give you their feedback entirely free of cost. So that's how Seize the Mains functions. The topic for today is Indus Water Treaty. Indus Water Treaty has been seen in news. There have been a lot of explained series running around across various newspapers. So let's see what is the question. The question that is there for today has been kept very basic, no controversial question, nothing very much very thought-provoking question. It's a very simple and straightforward question. Enumerate the main provisions of Indus Water Treaty. How do the conflicts, if any, get resolved under the IWT or Indus Water Treaty? Answer in 250 words. So nowadays, whatever news is being going around is around the dispute resolution mechanisms associated with Indus Water Treaty. So that is something that should be clear to you, not just for your mains but also for your prelims preparation. Also, the first part of the question talks about enumerate the main provisions of Indus Water Treaty. So we will not directly jump to the provisions. What we'll do is we'll briefly elaborate what was Indus Water Treaty, when was it signed, why was it brought in, and what does it entail. Then in the provisions part, we will talk about the provisions of Indus Water Treaty in detail. What does it talk about? What are the details associated? And finally, in our body paragraph 2, how do the conflicts, if any, get resolved under the IWT? So here we will talk about the provisions under IWT which are related to the dispute resolution mechanisms. That is your second part. And in the conclusion, see, the question is not demanding anything from current affairs, but since the question has been asked and because the topics have been in news, that's why this question has been put in there. So definitely in your conclusion, write at least 1 to 2 lines about how Indus Water Treaty should be changed, or why is it not in favor of India, how can India how can India make use of this treaty better than before. So talk about some viewpoint, establish some viewpoint there, write about something from current affairs, definitely in your conclusion part. Let's start with talking about Indus Water Treaty. The IWT or Indus Water Treaty, what is it? It's an agreement that was signed by former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru from Indian side and the then President of Pakistan Ayub Khan. It was negotiated in 1960 when the two countries reached a decisive step with the intervention of World Bank. See, mentioning World Bank here is very important, otherwise your answer would be incomplete. Wherein precise details were laid out regarding the way in which the waters would be distributed for the 6 rivers running across the Indus basin following the partition of India. So, for the 6 rivers, division of water, or after the partition of the country, division of water had to take place. So India and Pakistan could not negotiate on their own, so World Bank had to intervene, and with the intervention of World Bank, the water of 6 rivers, that was divided and that was decided for us. Also in your answers, since this is a geography based answer, include this map, talk about the Indus basin, mark the Indus water basin. This is a very popularly available map out there. Mark at least those 6 rivers of Indus basin which have been talked about, which have been mentioned in the Indus Indus Water Treaty. And also, if you can mark the Rattle hydroelectric project, the Kishangarh hydroelectric project on Jhelum, so that would add to your marks. Never ever write your geography answers without a diagram or a map. So that's your map here. And body paragraph 1, talking about provisions. What are the provisions under Indus Water Treaty? So the first provision is about obviously water sharing. Water sharing provisions, the 3 western rivers, Indus, Chenab and Jhelum. Indus, Chenab and Jhelum, they were allocated to Pakistan, and India can only establish certain non-consumptive agricultural and domestic uses. India can use only it for non-consumptive purposes or small domestic purposes, little ones, and agricultural purposes, nothing apart from that. The water coming from these 3 western rivers, that is flowing in these 3 western rivers. Talking about the 3 eastern rivers, that is Ravi, Beas and Satluj, these were allocated to India for unrestricted usage. So, division of or partition of water occurred through Indus Water Treaty. Also, you can talk about that localites or local people, probably talking about people in Jammu and Kashmir or in the border areas, they were not taken into account. No consultation was held with them, no consultation took place with the localites there, and the Indus Water Treaty, that was imposed on them. So a lot of articles float around all around the year regarding the plight of localites associated with the IWT. The plight that is associated with IWT when it comes to talking about localites. So that is something you can add in your conclusion as well. Yes. Thus, by provisions of treaty, 80% of share of water, or about 135 million acre feet, went to Pakistan, while India was left with the rest of 33 million acre feet, or 20% of the water for its usage. And that was, see here, it's the people who suffer at large. It's not always the hydroelectric projects which your country cannot build, but it's the localites, it's the people who suffer at large here, the major share of the rivers going to Pakistan. Then you have the administrative provisions. It required the countries to establish a permanent Indus Commission constituted by permanent commissioners on both the sides. This was for any dispute that arises, any confusion that arises. The commission will serve as a forum for exchange of information on the rivers. So this is where the data gets exchanged from, for continued cooperation and as the first stop for the resolution of conflicts. So that is the first step whenever conflicts arise. Obviously, the question asks us dispute resolution mechanism separately. So we'll talk about the Permanent Indus Commission again, but here we are talking only about administrative provisions. How does information get shared on a regular basis? Then you have the operational provisions. Operational provisions talk about, although Pakistan has rights over the waters of Jhelum, Chenab and Indus, Annexure C of treaty allows India certain agricultural usages. Annexure D allows India to build run-of-the-river hydro power projects. That is where the dispute regarding Kishan-Ganga power project is coming from, because India is allowed to build run-of-the-river hydro power projects which do not require live storage of water. So basically, in run-of-the-river power projects, what you do, you utilize the kinetic energy of water when it is falling down with the force of gravity through the only force involved there is just gravity. Water falls from a certain height at a very great speed. So what you can do is have your turbines there at the lower level, and you're not allowed to store water in these hydroelectric projects or hydropower projects not requiring live storage of water. So live storage of water is not allowed, so that there is unrestricted flow of western rivers which have been allocated to Pakistan. They have unrestricted flow of water. Also, India needs to share information on the project design. Whatever India is coming up with, India needs to share information on the project design or alterations made to it with Pakistan with regards to these 3 rivers. And Pakistan can raise objections or can reserve its concern within 3 months. So India is allowed to have a minimum storage level on the western rivers, meaning it can store up to 3.75 MAF of water for conservation and flood storage purposes. So that is something India has a benefit over. Talking about annulment provisions, can any of the countries step back or step out of IWT? So that is not allowed. The treaty does not provide a unilateral exit provision to either of the countries. It is supposed to remain in force unless both the countries ratify another mutually agreed pact. So that is what we want here, at least an amendment to IWT or another mutually agreed pact, because obviously IWT, it was negotiated in 1960s and it's already very old. So it's already very old. There have been issues of climate change, rivers changing their courses, and due to climate change, water availability is also lesser, or at least varied over seasons as compared to what it was in 1960s. So that is where your annulment provisions are important, and it is important that you mention about them in your exam as well. Then body paragraph 2, here we'll talk about dispute resolution mechanisms. See, for dispute resolution mechanisms, there is a detailed provision. The first step is obviously about the permanent commission. It can also be taken at the intergovernment level. So either go to the commissioner at the permanent commission of permanent Indus commission that has been established, or at the intergovernmental level. If disputes are not resolved here, either they are unresolved on the first level, they can be taken to the World Bank itself. And World Bank, what the World Bank will do, it will appoint a neutral expert. It will appoint any or neutral expert to come to a decision. And even if the dispute is not resolved, or the decision is not liked by, or does not satisfy any of the parties, then with the neutral expert's decision in case of disputes, there is this court of arbitration that comes into picture. So that is the third step. After your permanent commission and after the World Bank or the neutral expert appointed by World Bank, there is this court of arbitration that comes up in picture. So to sum up, it's a very graded and sequential mechanism. First commissioner, then neutral expert, and only then the court of arbitration. So that's about your dispute resolution mechanism. If you want, what you can do here is, whatever is going on in current affairs, that India has given a notice to Pakistan, or there is this tussle going on regarding the dispute resolution mechanisms, include one line either in the beginning or towards the end of your paragraph regarding the news that's going on. Otherwise, that is not demanded in the question, but use every question, use even every static question to highlight, to underline what knowledge that you have. So bring that to the limelight. Now in the conclusion, let's talk about Indus Water Treaty as a whole. How has it functioned? How has India been so responsible as an upper riparian state? The role of India as a responsible upper riparian, abiding by the provisions of the treaty has been remarkable. So that is where you're praising. However, the country of late is under a lot of pressure to rethink the extent to which it can remain committed to the provisions, as its overall political relations with Pakistan, they become intractable. Also, India has been allocated 20% of the water of Indus Water Treaty, and India is as of now not exploiting even 50% of that. So we're not completely exploiting 20% of the waters of Indus that we are legally entitled to. So you can write that. And then following the Uri attack, this is where after which we became really active about using waters of Indus River Basin. So India had established a high-level task force to exploit the full potential of Indus Waters Treaty. Again, you can mention the 80-20 ratio here. Accordingly, India has been working to start several big and small hydroelectric projects on the Indus water rivers, and that had either been stalled or were in the planning stages. So why were these projects stalled? Because obviously we wanted amicable relations with Pakistan. We did not want to have a lot of problems in our Jammu and Kashmir area. So a lot of projects, they were stalled, or they were on paper only. So now these projects have to be pushed forward, they have to be moved forward. So that's where your conclusion ends. Be creative with your conclusions, be creative with your answers. Make sure that you are underlining whatever you are writing. If there is additional information that you are giving, underline that information. That is very important. It is very important for the examiner to see what you are writing. So definitely check out this answer on our website, rajayesacademy.com. The link to the website is present in the description. Click on it, you will get to see this page, this landing page of our website. Click on the mains answer writing section and this page would appear. Check for question 176, that is about Indus Water Treaty. That is just what we discussed. Stay tuned to the channel. The channel can provide you a lot of resources for your civil services journey. Stay tuned, keep working hard, all the best, and I'll see you with another discussion of Seize the Mains on Monday at 9 p.m.